And so begins another episode of Jason Sims Says Hello. Please welcome your host, Jason Sims.
Hello. If you're a returning listener, I thank you for your continued interest in my podcast. If you're a new listener, then welcome. And there's no need to go back and listen to the first episode in order to enjoy this one, but I invite you to do so. You can find links to all the ways to listen at the following unwieldy URL. It's jason-sims.tumblr.com/says hello. So that's JASON-sims.tumblr.com/says hello. Now, as the announcer just announced, my name is Jason Sims, and I know Jason is an unusual name, an exotic name. It's Greek for born in the 70s. That's why it enjoys a resurgence of popularity every 100 years or so. Also, my last name is Sims, just like the video game, and I do have to take medication to suppress the large diamond that floats over my head and tells you what my mood is. It's none of your business. But enough about me, says the guy who names all of his podcasts after himself. Let's talk about this podcast that you're listening to right now. I have some exciting, exclusive content for you today from the world of thought and from a little place called Hollywood. The first thing that I have for you is something that was sent to me by the TAP Foundation. That stands for Theory and Practice. You may have seen some of the talks from their conferences. People like to share them on social media a lot. People give talks about technology and entertainment and design and things like that. And I'm excited to announce that the TAP Foundation has given this podcast exclusive North American rights to distribute these talks from here on out. So if you're not in North America, I guess just fast forward or just listen. I mean, I don't think there's any way they could know.
Ideas,
Words,
PowerPoint presentations,
our most pressing problems.
our most novel thinkers,
Theory
and practice.
Tap
Tap
Talks. Today's talk was given by behavioral anthropologist Dr. Lawrence Rauschweif of the Cromwell Center for the Study of Human Flourishing. Dr. Rauschweif spoke at the 2014 TAP conference in Anchorage, Alaska. His talk is entitled, "Everything We Think We Know About Happiness is Wrong. One Easy Step to Contentment." And now, Dr. Rauschweif. Happiness. We all want it. And we all think that we know how to get it. Extensive polling reveals that we think increases in wealth, education, and health will increase our personal happiness. This is not what we found at the center. Until recently, our research at the center had shown that the difference between the happiest place in the industrialized world, which is the village of East Snorknork outside Helsinki, Finland, and the happiness levels of the least happiest place in the industrialized world, the town of Auburn in Lee County, Alabama, were only a few percentage points. Nothing to write home about. Now, I say until recently because I'm here to talk about a place which has made us ask the question, what if everything we think we know about happiness is wrong? These are the Cinder Islands, an isolated archipelago in the Pacific Ocean. And its inhabitants are the happiest people on Earth by a margin of over 300%. I know what you're thinking. Anyone could be happy in an island paradise, right? No one with even a cursory amount of knowledge of these islands would ever make such a statement. Now, I will forgive you for your ignorance in this matter because the world at large only recently discovered that these islands are inhabited. Their grey, barren beaches look so unpleasant, even from a distance, that no one in the recorded history of seafaring has mentioned visiting them. Even the ancestors of the island's inhabitants did not come there of their own free will. Local legend says, and genetic and historical research has confirmed, that the ancestors of the island's inhabitants drifted there by accident after being tied to logs and set adrift as punishment for various crimes. And this was the practice in the ancient coastal cities of China. The name that these inhabitants call themselves loosely translates into English as Ash People. Here on the screen now is the best photo that we were able to take of any Ash people in the 6 months that we lived among them on the islands. If you'll notice the 3 vaguely human-shaped figures next to the burning rock there to the right of the picture, those are Ash people. Not sure if those Ash people are male or female, frankly. It's hard to take photos of them because of the thick clouds of smoke and ash that emanate from the dozens of active volcanoes on the Cinder Islands, and these clouds leave the islands shrouded in a state of perpetual night. The abundance of ash particles that hang in the air, even at ground level, make flash photography almost impossible. It's also difficult for outsiders to visually discern the identity of individual ash people due to the wet clumps of ash mud that they apply liberally to their bodies. Now, they do this to protect themselves from the stifling heat of the volcanoes, but also from the plethora of biting and stinging worms and insects that are the only fauna which live on the islands. Incidentally, the only flora are a few species of mushrooms which grow in the dank, humid caves in which the ash people live. And although these fungi are incredibly bitter and just shy of poisonous, they serve as the staple of the ash people's diet. It was really quite unbearable to me and my entire team, and we have worked in some of the poorest and most disease-ridden places on Earth, and the Cinder Islands are, in a word, abhorrent. I mean, I get nauseous even looking at them on a map, much less remembering walking around there and the smells and the way you could hear the ash falling on the rocks. I mean, you could actually hear it, and it was constant all the time, day and night, day and night. Not that you could tell the difference between day and night, but you could just hear it, and it would... I digress. So knowing what you know about the Cinder Islands now, you may find yourself asking the same question which we were asking. Why are these people so happy? Now, at first we thought that the volcanic fumes that filled the air had perhaps caused some sort of brain damage. A battery of IQ tests quickly revealed that this wasn't the case. They tended to be skilled and resourceful problem solvers, and we could find no evidence of mental defect. What was going on here? It was Dr. Allegra Peel, our linguist, who made the breakthrough when she discovered the word that the ash people use for happiness. And that word is Servask. Servask is a compound of 2 other words, the word Serg and the word Vrask. The word Serg means volcano, and it is one of the most commonly used words on the island. As you might imagine, that's about the only thing on the island are those stupid volcanoes, so they talk about them quite a bit. It took a little longer to decode the word Vrask, but once Dr. Peel did, we began to see the simple wisdom of these misunderstood people. Shurg Vrask. Shurg means volcano. Vrask means murder. So the Ash People word for happiness means volcano murder. We discovered that whenever the Ash People have a problem with a thing which they cannot solve, they throw that thing into a volcano, be it animal or vegetable or mineral. And yes, that includes other Ash People. The quickness and finality of these solutions reduces their stress levels to almost nil. Disagreements among Ash People are rare because most things in life are just not worth either throwing someone into a volcano over or getting thrown into a volcano over. Now, you may be skeptical, but until you've stood in the middle of that bleak gray purgatory and watched its 30 or so inhabitants sing and laugh for 18 hours a day, you have no right to doubt my findings. It is my hope that we in the industrialized West, despite our oppressive social mores and our geographical limitations in terms of volcano distribution, can one day take hold of this simple lesson from the Ash People and integrate it into our way of life. And then maybe more of us will be Vrosk. Thank you.
Well, that was enlightening. I mean, that guy probably knows what he's talking about, because he has a British accent, kinda, and he is a doctor. I probably need to go to the doctor. I always think that I'm dying. And if you've ever seen me, you're probably going, oh yeah, that guy is teetering on the edge of something. And if you haven't seen me, let me just paint the picture. I'm a fat, middle-aged guy who never sleeps. And that is exactly what I look like. So it's as advertised. I mean, cover true to book in this case. So I'll stay up, late at night, symptom surfing on WebMD. And the other night I found a block of symptoms, that I really related to. And I didn't have the heart to scroll up and see, what the disease was. So I got my poor wife up in the middle of the night. And I said, honey, scroll up and see what disease this is. And she was quiet for a second. And I thought, oh, this is really bad. Then she just said, sweetie, I don't think you have to worry about having uterine cancer. So when science failed me, I had to, seek solace in more obscure corners of the web. So the next morning when my wife woke up, I told her, sweetie, you're going to have to chain me up in the shed tonight because it's a full moon. And according to ancientfolklore.org, I have, several symptoms of lycanthropy. My eyebrows grow together, in the middle. But hokey folklore and ancient diseases are no match for leaked content from Hollywood blockbusters, kid. Brace yourselves because I have audio from an entire scene from a highly anticipated film. And I hope the little quote that I paraphrased there doesn't give it away, but okay, yeah, it is Superman v. Batman: Dawn of Justice. Roll it.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice's break room,
Clark, you don't understand what I'm saying.
Look, I know what you're saying, but it's just different when you grow up around them.
Oh, the kids in the inner city are growing up around them. That's not the problem. There are more places in the inner city to get a gun than one of these delicious fruit smoothies here.
Hey, Bats, Soups, good morning.
Aquaman.
Morning, Aquaman.
As I was saying, I don't mean it like that. I mean, you have to grow up around, the right people who teach you how to respect guns and use them in the right way.
The right people? The right way? Why don't you just come out and say it?
What?
Don't you mean the white people? The white way?
Oh, come on.
I mean, that's the real difference between Smallville and the inner city.
I just mean I grew up around plenty of people with guns, and nobody ever shot anybody.
Yeah, because their ancestors already got it out of their systems when they shot all the Native Americans.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you always make it about race? You're a rich white dude, Bruce.
Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
I'm Batman.
Bruce Wayne of the Gotham Waynes, of the Wayne Enterprises Waynes.
I am Batman.
You know, you shouldn't be Batman. You should be Wasp Man. I mean, they do still fly and strike fear in the hearts of men. And while we're on the subject of race, you know, I'm technically not even human.
Yeah, but you pass, Clark. Check your privilege there, Ubermensch.
Privilege? Does Roswell mean anything to you? Area 51, maybe? Do you know what you people do to us people? And back on topic, please. You know, I haven't even mentioned the Second Amendment.
A well-regulated militia, Clark. Well-regulated.
That's not what that word means, and you know
My
it.
parents were killed by a handgun.
With all due respect, Bruce, your parents weren't killed by a handgun. They were killed by a criminal.
Don't go there.
Well, my parents and everybody they knew were killed by a planet. So, hey, let's ban planets.
Are you hearing this crap, Aquaman? Who's being irrational here?
Do you really want my opinion?
Yeah.
Don't you guys realize how dumb this is?
It's an important issue.
No, not the argument. I mean, the two of you specifically having this argument.
How so?
Okay, stop me if I get anything wrong. Bruce, are you or are you not one of the greatest unarmed combatants in the world?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the greatest. I mean, I do okay. I mean, I really probably barely cracked the top 3.
Right. Unarmed. So, no weapons.
Weapons are tools of ill will. Sun Tzu.
And Clark, aren't you, like, bulletproof?
Yup.
I'll just let you guys think about that for a minute. Oh, trouble in the Gulf of Mexico. Be seeing you.
Bruce, I shouldn't have been that way to you. I'm sorry.
Both of our words could have been more carefully chosen. Crap. It's the freaking Riddler again. To be continued.
You know, that Aquaman's something else.
He's a jerk.
Oh, I've got to stop the Earth from flying into the sun. You know, Batman, there's nothing wrong with having a discussion that... Oh. And of course, as soon as I turn around, he disappears. I hate it when he does that. Of course, you know, if I had X-ray vision, I would be able to tell that he's actually just hiding in the cabinet of the coffee maker, but, oh wait, I do have X-ray vision.
Just open the window and fly away so I can leave, please. At least give me that.
Up, up, and away!
Wow. You know, I know a lot of people weren't crazy about that trailer, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty good to me. And William H. Macy is going to be really good as Aquaman. Everything in this episode was written and produced and performed by me, Jason Sims, except for the music that I used in the 2 sketches. That was provided by a guy named Jason Shaw, who asked to be credited as music by audionautics.com, and that's AudioNautix.com. Thanks a lot, Jason. And there's like a lot of free production music there for folks who like to produce things. On Twitter, I am at Jason_Sims. That's JASON_SIMS. You can subscribe to this podcast via iTunes or Stitcher or RSS feed. You can listen to these episodes via YouTube at youtube.com/House of Sims. You can email me questions and comments to email jasonsims@gmail.com. And if you don't have a phonographic memory, you can find all of these links at the aforementioned unwieldy URL jason-sims.tumblr.com/says hello. If you enjoy this, please share it. That's how other people who aren't you also get to enjoy it. I truly appreciate everyone who listens, leaves ratings and reviews on iTunes, and tells other people about the podcast. Y'all are the digital wind beneath my e-wings. I'll see you when I have another one of these things, ready to go. This is a one-man shop, so bear with me. Mr. Announcer, I summon thee.
And so ends another episode of Jason Sims Says Hello. Once again, here's your host, Jason Sims.
Goodbye.